Once upon a time, in a cozy green meadow surrounded by tall, swaying trees, lived a curious little goat named Gilly. Gilly was not like the other goats in the meadow. While they were happy munching on grass and playing together, Gilly always wanted to explore the world beyond the meadow. Every day, Gilly would look up at the big, blue sky and wonder what lay on the other side of the hills. One day, Gilly said to herself, "I'm going to have an adventure." One sunny morning, Gilly saw a colorful butterfly fluttering by. "Follow me, Gilly," it seemed to say as it danced in the breeze. Without a second thought, Gilly followed the butterfly, hopping over the flowers and through the meadow, until she reached the edge of the big, dark forest. Gilly's heart beat fast. She knew the forest was deep and mysterious, but her excitement was stronger than her fear. With a determined bleat, Gilly stepped into the forest. The trees were so tall that they almost touched the sky, and the light grew dimmer with every step. Suddenly, she heard a rustling sound. Gilly froze, her little hooves trembling. Out from the bushes popped a tiny, friendly squirrel named Sammy. "Hello, what are you doing in the forest?" asked Sammy. "I'm having an adventure," said Gilly proudly, "but I'm a little lost." "Don't worry," said Sammy with a smile. "I know these woods well. Let's go on an adventure together." So Gilly and Sammy journeyed deeper into the forest. They crossed bubbling streams, climbed rocky hills, and nibbled on the juiciest berries they had ever tasted. They even saw a family of deer dancing in a sunlit clearing, and a wise old owl, who told them stories of the stars. Just as the sun began to set, they heard a loud roar. Gilly's ears twitched, and Sammy's tail stood up straight. It was the grumpy old bear Bruno, who lived in a cave nearby. Everyone in the meadow said Bruno was big and scary, but Gilly remembered her courage. "Excuse me, Mr. Bear," Gilly said bravely. "We didn't mean to disturb you. We're just having an adventure." Bruno stared at the little goat and the tiny squirrel, his big eyes softening. "An adventure, you say?" he rumbled. "Well, you're very brave to come this far. But it's getting dark, and the forest isn't safe at night. I'll help you find your way home." Bruno led Gilly and Sammy through the shadowy woods, protecting them from the sounds of the night. As they reached the edge of the forest, Gilly looked back and saw Bruno waving his big paw goodbye. "Thank you, Mr. Bear," she called. When Gilly finally returned to the meadow, all the other goats gathered around. They were amazed by her story. They listened in awe as she told them about the bubbling streams, the dancing deer, and the wise old owl. From that day on, Gilly became known as the bravest little goat in the meadow, and whenever the sun shone bright, Gilly and Sammy would go on new adventures. They discovered the wonders of their big, beautiful world together. The end.